Welcome back. This is Lights, Camera, Whatever. This is Teacher Ray here. We are jumping into episode 4 of the show called Imperfect Us. It is a Taiwanese drama titled Imperfect Us. Now, if you're just jumping into this is episode 4, so go back and check about 1, 2, and 3 before you jump into this one. So, you know what we do? We're going to jump into the description. Please keep your ears open. Qing Fen often recalls how she suffered while trying to win over He Rui Zhi. So when she finally married him, it's as if she won a medal. Sounds crazy, right? From time to time, she can't help but remind him of it. Not just him, but also her. Since Qing Fen liked Rebecca's SNS post, there's been no update. Qing Fen feels quite smug about it. Rebecca has to go through the pains of moving to a new place again, and it makes her remember the guy who once told her, "Don't be afraid, I'm right here." But now all she's got left is a boy who would have dinner with her, the boy who has witnessed her fragility. So that was the description for episode 4. Now, question 1. How often do you have to turn a blind eye? Sometimes, guys, it's actually quite frequent. A lot of situations we don't want to see. We see, but we don't want to see. Or we see it and we consciously or intentionally choose to ignore it. So how often do you have to turn a blind eye? Sometimes we have to, guys. I think we don't need to. This is something that I talk to a lot about with my clients and my students in RBC English. We don't need to cater and respond to every single situation. It's not a crime to just let it go. And letting it go is not making you less of a person. Letting it go means you are the bigger person, you're moving on, you have other things to deal with in your life than to sit here and argue with someone who is unpersuadable. And yes, that might be a word that I created. So think about the times where you went back and forth with someone who was just not able to move or budge. They were insistent, they were stubborn, and they didn't want to change their thinking. And they don't even have room or the ability or capacity to change their thinking. And you're just thinking, why am I wasting my time? Why? Why am I suffering right now? Because you allowed yourself to suffer. You could have turned a blind eye, you could have moved on, and you could have let it go. Now, these are for the situations that you can let go. But if there's a scenario, circumstance, or incident that you need to address, then I am not referring to that. I, Teacher Ray, I am not telling you to let everything go. So please don't go say, oh, the podcast told me. No, I'm saying for those situations that you can move on and they have no benefit to your life and you can just let it go and move on, I'm only referring to that. But if there's a situation that needs to be addressed, let's kind of erase need, let's delete, must be addressed, you need to address it. Because that's something you cannot turn a blind eye on. So don't forget that. Now, number 2, can you make loving someone a habit after 21 days? And I hope you heard me breathing deeply. Because love is love. I don't think love and habit should be in the same conversation. I even hate the word myself. I hate the word routine. It's a routine. It's the same. It's normal. It's stable. Ugh, disgusting. These words drive me crazy, guys. So that's why I don't like them. Habit, we're just going to add that to the blacklist of words that Teacher Ray doesn't like. Why should you make loving someone a habit? You should just love them. Just be in love. You don't need to, make it a habit, make it a ritual. When you start adding all of these things that you need to do for love and it's not natural, you are just going against God's nature. So don't do that. It doesn't matter 21 days. I don't care about all that. Whatever, right? Love the way you love. Don't love, just to love. Love because you want to love this person and you think they're the right person for you. But once you start going through the motion of love just because you need to go through it, guys, people are not stupid. People have feelings. They sense. They say, oh, he's just going through the motion. He's just checking on me just so I won't say anything and blah, 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 blah. Don't do this. People are sensitive. They know exactly what's going on. So when you do that, trust me, it will backfire. If you're going to love wholeheartedly. Love like you would love yourself, and even more. But I'm not saying don't love yourself if you love another person. Self-love is critical. Don't forget that. But you need to love this person with your heart, not love this person out of habit. I said what I said, whatever. And remember, it's lights, camera, whatever. Now, number 3, when it's time to really vent, what do? Guys, since I've been 5 years old, I've been playing this very, very beautiful game. Some people around the world, they call it baseball. So what I do, I get these 2 feet that I have. Most of the time, they're Nike shoes, whatever, lights, camera, whatever. I go down to this thing called MRT, only 3 letters. And I go down to Ximen, because I used to go to Fuda. Behind Fuda used to be a really amazing batting cage. I don't know what happened. I'm super angry about that. That was the most American batting cage I've ever been to. They have one called Tailuga in the front, but there's nothing better than that batting cage that was behind Fuda. That was my ultimate place to go vent. I don't know what happened to it. Whatever. Moving on. But that was my place. So I gave away what I like to do. I guess I gave away the hint. I love batting cage, guys. I love to imagine the ball being someone that I hate, someone that I despise, an enemy in my mind that I shouldn't have. I imagine that ball is their head and I smash because, just releasing, hitting something that's coming out of a machine and coming out at different directions. And you got to kind of emotionally stabilize yourself so that you can be ready to hit this ball. Now, I always go into the, the 130, the 140. I've been here too long, so I forgot miles per hour. So I usually go to the maximum speed so I can really, really release. So that's what I do. So after you finish listening to this, or while you're listening to this, go to the comment section, tell Teacher Ray what you do to release. How do you vent? I really want to know. Number 4, is food still the way to a man's heart? In a way, sometimes, right? But I mean, sometimes I'm not hungry all the time. Like I'm a person who really loves to have a great conversation. Guys, when's the last time you had a great conversation? The person was not on the phone. They weren't checking anything. They weren't, looking for anything. They were just into you, into the conversation, into the moment, right? Jesus, it's so hard to have a conversation these days. So for me, the way to my heart is have a good conversation. You're not checking the phone all the time, scrolling through social media because it's really, really not important. Just hanging out, enjoying the moment, enjoying each other, right? I mean, that's a really good way to get to a man's heart. Letting them know that you'll be there for them and that you support them. And another way to my heart is that you're really, really honest with me. You tell me what I need to hear. You don't tell me what I want to hear. There's some times where I want to be comforted, but I'm a man, right? So I need to be told what I need to be told, and that's the reality. So for me, I think that that's very critical to have someone who is open and honest with me, who cares about me, who loves me, and who's there for me. Like I have my problems. I have my stress. My life is not easy. Nobody's life is easy, right? I'm not a complainer, especially not going to complain on my podcast. Maybe one day, but I think for me, I'm a doer. I don't like to, when I say I'm not a complainer, I will, think about the situation. I will ruminate. Ruminate means think deeply. For the non-RBZ students. If you're my student, you definitely learn that word in class. But for me, I don't like to sit in the complaint, right? I like to move on and find a solution, not just constantly like, oh, why? I don't like sitting in the why. I like sitting in the what. That's me. I like to take the action. So that's the way to a man's heart, like, loving them, being with them, and taking care of them. Food is, you can go out and buy food. So but yeah, it'd be good to have a good meal at home. But come on, it's a new day, whatever. Number 5, what to do when your sibling is constantly messing up. I'm telling mom. I'm like, hey, they messing up. Like we got to talk. We got to, because there's not really much you can do when you're an adult, right? You can't really change people after they've been a certain way for so many years. I mean, what are you really going to do? What are you really going to say? I mean, they are who they are. That's who they are, right? So we can sit around all day and, pick our nose and complain, whatever. Your sibling is not changing. Unless it's some life-changing situation that where, they almost die or they almost, get hurt or just go completely broke. There's no changing. And sometimes it's too late, right? They're gone. So, so sometimes you just love them the best way you can and support them the best way you can. But that's all you can do, guys. That's all you can do. When someone is just messing up constantly, the only thing you can do is just remind them to get rest. You love them. You're there for them. And life is, you got to remember, life is not, you got to say that you got to go through the motions. I know, I'm sorry, I'm using this one. I just say don't go through the motions, but you got to go through the motions and show them that you love them, because that's really all you can do. Because if it's too late, it's too late. They're not here anymore. So you really got to just love them the best way you can. That's my best advice. Number 6, when the world is crashing down on you, who do you call? I call my mom. My mom, guys, let me tell you something about me. My mom knows every girl that I dated. I'm not saying that I dated a lot of girls. She knows every single girl that I dated in my life. She knows all my secrets. She knows all my dirty secrets. I don't have that many, so don't get excited. I know you're listening like, oh, what kind of secrets? Guys, my mom knows everything. She knows when I'm up, down, in the middle, and totally out of this world. That's exactly who I call when the world is crashing down. Now, if it's not my mom, I don't really have a lot of options for someone that I can just kind of spill the beans and tell everything out. But, I mean, there's a couple guys in Taipei I would call up and say, hey, let's have a drink. I won't really give too many details about what's going on with me, but I would just kind of, I'm really not a complainer, guys. I gotta remind you that I'm not someone that's like, oh my God, my life. I just was never this type of person, actually. But I will have a good drink, enjoy myself, wake up in the morning, 5:30, hit the gym, 6 a.m., have a good coffee. I am refreshed. I'm refreshed. But if that day I can have some drinks and go to a batting cage, what I've been begging my friends to do, like, hey, let's go have some drinks and go to the batting cage, probably super dangerous for some people. But when I drink, I'm actually really focused. So for me, when the world is crashing down on me, I will call my mother. I will talk to her and say, hey, like, I'm not doing too well. I need your voice. And I'm going to try to enjoy her voice as much as I can, because our parents are not going to be here forever. So don't take for granted life. So you better, if you're one of those lazy people who's sitting around like not calling your parents, contacting your parents, it's a lot of people's parents are not here. And I have to remind you, don't be lazy because of social media. You will regret. Now, the number 7, it says a double slit experiment. Double slit experiment. What do you really see versus what do you want to see? So in the show, in the drama, it highlighted this experiment. It's called the double slit experiment. I really enjoyed that part of the show because we always are creating scenes in our mind that we want to see sometimes. It is, guys, this is unhealthy. This is not healthy. Constantly creating scenes in our mind that are not there. And what are we doing? We are causing ourselves unnecessary stress because we're creating scenarios that don't exist. We are creating enemies that don't exist. We have to stop this because it is unhealthy. Why do we need to lose sleep over this? Over someone who's an enemy that's not really our enemy, or a situation that we could avoid and not be part of, or any type of situation that we could just let it go, right? We see what we want to see. That's a double slit experiment, right? What do you see versus what do you want to see? And 95% of the time, we're actually seeing what we want to see and not what we're actually seeing. And this is a problem, guys. If we're not seeing it and we're creating it, something's wrong with us. It's very simple. Something is wrong with us because we are seeing something that's not there. Plain and simple. You are seeing something that is not there. In any language, in any culture, something's wrong with you, right? Why do you see something that's not there? We don't need to talk about it any further, right? So we're going to talk about that because that's just mad. That's madness. But I do have to say, we can prevent ourselves from being in a situation where we are causing ourselves to see what we don't see, but what we are creating in our mind. We're literally filmmakers. If you think about it, we are filmmakers. We are creating scenes in our mind that don't exist. You're creating film. So if you want to be a filmmaker in your mind, you go right ahead. But let me tell you something right now. You are wasting a crazy amount of time in your life. Crazy. Because you're creating scenes that don't exist. You fall into the scene. You sleep in that scene. You go to work with that scene. You're in that scene with your family, with your friends sitting right in front of you. But your mind is in that scene that doesn't exist. That's wrong. That's wrong, guys. You got to stop. Don't create unnecessary stress. Life is short. And for the guys out there listening to this, there is something out there called lifestyle cancer. It will kill you. It will kill you. You're creating such a stressful life that it has actually caused you cancer. And it may not even be in your genes, cancer, right? But you are so stressed out from the life choices that you made that you have gotten sick. You've become weak. Your immunity has decreased to allow these bad cells to come out, right? We have to stop this lifestyle cancer. We can and we must. I'm not going to say the word we should. We must stop this because it's all what we create. We see what we want to see. That's it. We see what we want to see. And we have to stop that. So that's number 7. The double slit, S-L-I-T, not split. Double slit experiment. What do you really see versus what do you want to see? I want you to think deeply about that. Now, for the Taiwanese listeners, I'm sorry, I don't know the translate because it's a very deep translation, double slit experiment. So go and Google double slit experiment and type Zhongwen and Google search. Find out what it is, dive into it, type in the comment section of Lights, Camera, whatever, on whatever platform you're listening to. I want to know what's your opinion. The double slit experiment. Number 8. What is your favorite car snacks? Let me tell you right now. I will punch you in the face if you ever in your life bring peach rings. Yes, I have a very, very terrible problem with peach rings. I'm addicted. I'm so addicted that it's embarrassing. I love sour, sweet, gummy candy. If you are my friend, I hope you're my friend. If you are a true audience for Lights, Camera, whatever, please don't bring me peach rings because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to eat the whole bag in front of you within 3 seconds. And I'm going to go buy another bag and then eat that in 7 seconds. And I'm talking about if you say 3 seconds, 3 seconds. So basically, I have 1 minute, 1 second to get to the store. And in the other 3 seconds, I'm going to eat again. I'm crazy, right? And I know the math was not mathing. The math didn't add up, but whatever. I think you get my point. I am obsessed with peach rings. Seriously. I got to call the doctor about that. Because in the States, we have this thing called Sour Patch Kids. So I've always been in love, especially when you go to the movies, right? Because I used to only eat it at the movies. I used to go crazy for the Sour Patch Kids. I used to love it. But now, these peach rings, these sweet and sour peach rings, my God, please. If you are a true fan, do not buy me that. Number 9, what is your name in your partner's phone? Oh my God, I'm going to cause some problems with this one. But that's what we do, Lights, Camera, whatever. Let me slow down. It depends. If it's like a lover, yeah, you got some secret name. You're not going to put the actual name. But if it's like my partner, I pray I get one that I can kind of peacefully walk outside with and go shopping with without hiding. And, I pray for that one day. A little bit complaining there. But yeah, I would call the lover. I would say baby, honey, whatever I feel in my heart. That's the name that's going to be there. My everything, my soulmate, that's going to be the name. It's boring just to put someone's name, right? But that's what I'm saying. They're your partner and you're not, hiding and being a secret lover. That's a whole different conversation. But so the thing is, like, you have to, put what's on your heart. Now, if you just put someone's mom, I see that all the time, actually. Someone's mom, my kid's mom, it's like so cold. So for me, be careful, guys, about that one. Number 10, what to do when you see a strange name in your partner's phone. I'm going to ask who it is. I'm going to ask. I'm just going to ask. I'm not going to ask in hey, who the hell is this? I'm going to ask I'm a consultant. I read faces. I read people very, very well. I'm going to look you in your eye and just say, hey, who's this? And I will get my answer, even if you don't tell me. So don't even try to lie to me. If your lover bought a house, would you help with the rent or expect to live for free? Let me read that again. If your lover bought a house, would you help with rent or expect to live for free? Of course, I'm going to help with the rent. Guys, we got to change this, man. Why do you expect someone to have a house for you? Because they marry you, man. That's crazy. I know it's a culture thing. It's like, I'm marry you. We're married, so put a house in my name? What the hell? It's kind of crazy. Like, no, we should be together to get the money to grow together. Not everybody comes from a rich family. We should be working together to build a house, to get a house. Not that I just give you one. We're just married. Like, you should show me, right? We can, we get 2-3 houses together, earning our money together. Of course I will buy you a house. But let's work together. Let's do this together. Not like, we're married, so give me a house. It's crazy. When I first heard that, I was like, that's a little bit wild. You earn your own money, I earn my own money. God, otherwise, that's not love. That's not love. Please stop that. And I'm sorry to hurt some people, but grow with your man. Not expect him to give you anything. Grow with him. Number 12, who will you expose your fragility to? It will only be my mom and my lover when I get one, right? That's it. I don't need to show my weakness to the world. For what? It's a cold world to eat you up and spit you out. And ain't no reason in the world you should show your weakness, only to who you need. And guys, that's it for episode 4. Please leave your comments, your suggestions, your disagreements. I can't wait because it's lights, camera, or whatever. I'm out.